What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Charles, aka the Bearded Guru. So I wanted to do a quick little tutorial. I want to show you how you can create an image slider inside of ClickFunnels. Even though we don't have that element set up just yet, I want to show you a very quick and painless way to be able to create one yourself. To give you an idea of what this is going to look like, ta-da! As you can see, it sits on each image for about 30 seconds, and then it transitions to the next one. And what's awesome about this particular image slider that I'm going to teach you how to make is the fact that it's fully responsive, which means that as you move the page down, going into a mobile imagery or a mobile size, it will adapt to the size of the resolution of the viewer's device. And another cool thing about it is it'll work in a variety of different column widths. So as you can see, I did a single column, a 3-column, and a 6-column. And as you can see, all of the images, it transitions over and it sits within that particular column just fine. The only thing I will point out is doing this method here, you must make sure that all of your images are the same resolution, which means if you have an image that's 720 pixels wide, 300 pixels tall, you need to make sure that all of the images are 700 pixels wide and 300 pixels tall. There's some other advanced ways to not have the requirement such as that, but I don't want to get too techy. I don't want to get too nerdy on you here. The best thing to do is just to make sure that all of your images share the same resolution. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, so first thing you're going to do obviously is you need to upload your images inside of your ClickFunnels account so that they're hosted on a secure server. Right now, these images I have set up are not, and to give you an idea of what your browser's error code or error is going to load, is going to tell you that in the console you'll see it says all of the images were loaded over the page was loaded over HTTPS but requested secure image. This content should be served over HTTPS. So by uploading these images into your ClickFunnels account, this will ensure that your images are hosted on a secured site, and then you don't have to worry about any browser issues of displaying your content. Alright, so what we'll do here, just to get the images uploaded, we'll just do a single image here. We'll click on it, and then we'll go here to the image URL. We want to upload a new image. Alright, we'll add the image. Now at first, just so that you won't have troubles trying to find the URL for each one, just upload them all to the page first. And then we can extract the URL from those. Or you can pull up Notepad. That might be a little easier so it doesn't get too crowded here. You can go to Notepad and then save the URLs for each image. So we'll copy that one, we'll save it. Oh. And oh, we did the wrong one here. Let's go back to this one. Add image. So we'll get the URL to this one. We'll copy it. Paste it in our Notepad. Then we can just get rid of this one and work out of one image placeholder. Alright, then we upload the next image. I do see a lot of requests for this, so this is why I decided to make this tutorial here. So we take the URL of this one, copy it, we'll go into our notepad, paste it. Come on, mouse. Alright, there we go. And then we'll add our final image, Taj Mahal. Add the image. We'll get the URL here. We'll paste it in. Alright, so now what we need is a little custom HTML code. So what we'll do is we'll add an HTML element, a custom HTML element, add that to page. So now we'll go into the code here. Alright, first thing we need to do, we need to create a div, and we're going to give it the ID of slider. Alright, so we'll open the tag up, equals, quotation, slider, quotation, close tag. Keep in mind here, if you do not input this code exactly how I have it, you do have the chance of breaking the page. So, you know, this is going to be the people who are adventurous and want to learn this. Like I said, I will have a file that'll contain the HTML code and the CSS code needed, so you'll have a copy for it, and you can download that in the description below. Okay, so first we open up that div. Now we're going to open up a new div called figure, or a new tag called figure. Now we're going to start. Now we're going to start listing our images. So what we'll do is we'll open the tag. We're going to use an image tag. We're going to give it a source. This is the location that image is hosted. So that's why I had you copy down the locations for your images. So we'll do the first one. You'll right click, you'll copy. You go back into the custom HTML. Oh, close this on us. Let's open that again. So image, source. Like I said, the URL where that image can be found, we'll paste that in. We'll give it quotation, in the quotations. The URL has to be wrapped in quotations. We'll give it an alt tag. It's always good practice. Anytime you add an image to your site, you want to give it an alt tag. This is for people who use like people who are blind and they use like screen readers. They won't be able to see the image, but the alt tag, you give it a description of what the tag is or what the picture is. That way the screen reader would be able to read off what the image is to that person who's blind. It also, in case the image is not loadable for whatever reasons, it'll post the information there as to what the image should be. So this is an image of I have no idea where this is. We'll just say scenic waterfront. Okay, so now we close that image tag, and then we're going to post in the next image in our sequence. Source equals quotations, and then we'll grab our second one. Anchor watt, I guess that's what that is. So we'll throw our URL in, and we'll close it with the quotation. We'll give it an alt tag of fireworks. Close out the alt and close out the image tag. Excuse me. Alright, so now we do the third image. Go ahead and copy that there. Image source equals open quotations, post our URL, paste our URL, close the quotations, give it an alt tag, equals, this is Ibiza. We'll close that image tag, and I see that I misspelled this. Alright. Okay, now we'll add our next image, which is the Taj Mahal. The URL source is at that URL. We'll close the quotations, we'll give it an alt tag, Taj Mahal. Close out that image tag. Now, next thing you want to do is you want to repeat the first link. Okay, so whatever your link is for the first image that you want in the sequence, we'll repeat that. So that was we'll just copy this whole link. That way we don't have to do it over again. We'll paste that in. Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to close the figure tag. And then we'll close out that div tag. So now if you look at our page here, we'll save that. We'll open this up in a new incognito window, and you'll see all it's doing right now is just showing all of the images. Okay. Now, what we want to do is now we need to add the CSS code that's going to drive the animation for this particular CSS slider. So now we go into settings. We come down here to custom CSS. Alright, so first thing we need to do, we need to create keyframes for those images where they're going to sit at in the sequence as they move along through the transition, or excuse me, through the animation. So what we'll do is we'll hit the add keyframes. We'll call this slidey. We'll open our curly braces. We'll go to the next line. The first one we're going to set is at 0%. Then we'll open our our curly braces again. We're going to set that left to 0%, semicolon, and then close our curly braces on that one. The next keyframe will be set at 20%. Open our curly brace. Left will be at 0% again. Close our curly brace. The next keyframe will be at 25%. Open our curly brace, left, colon. Now this is going to be set to negative 100%. Enter semicolon, close our curly brace. The next one will be at 45%. We'll open our curly brace, we'll give it a left of negative 100%. Semicolon, close our curly brace. The next one will be set at 50%. Open our curly brace, we'll give it a left value of negative 200%. Semicolon, close our curly brace. It'll be the same values for 70%. Left, colon, minus 200%. Semicolon, close curly brace. The next value will be 75%. We're going to give it a left value of negative 300%. Semicolon, close curly brace. The next value will be 95%. Left. Oops. Should be 300, sorry. That'll be negative 300% as well. The final keyframe will be at 100%. We'll give that a left value of negative 400%. Semicolon. Close that curly brace. Now we'll close the entire curly brace section, which is under the keyframes. All right, now we need to style the div tag slider. So div hashtag slider. We're going to give it an overflow value of hidden. What this essentially does is it makes sure that if anything any of the image comes outside of that particular element that you have set up, it'll hide that so it doesn't overflow into the other elements of your page. Oops, I forgot a semicolon. All right, now we need to style the div tag slider, the figure, the image. What we're going to do is we're going to give that a width of 20%. Semicolon. We're going to tell it to float to the left. Close that with a semicolon and close that curly brace. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to style the slider itself, the figure. So we'll call the div slider the figure of the div slider, excuse me, I should say. Give us a little room here. All right, so the position we're going to give it is relative to the screen size. We're going to give it a width of 500%. We're going to give it a margin of 0. We're going to give it a left value of 0. We're going to text align the image to the left. We're going to give it a font size of 0. Now we need to tell it what animation settings we want to give it. Now this is where you can kind of be, you can change it to your liking. The one I showed you in the early example, that is set for a 30-second transition. So that means for each 30 seconds the image will sit and then it'll transition to the next image. You can set this as low or as high as you want it to. This is totally your choice. So I'm going to set it back to 30 seconds. This is going to apply to the keyframe that we set up earlier. We named it slidey, and then we're going to tell this to run infinitely. All right, and that's all the code you need. Clean this up a little bit. So now when we save this, we preview it. Oh, we got this one image on the end. What's wrong with that? Okay, that got input outside of the... Okay. I don't know how that got there. I must have accidentally added that afterwards. We save this. We go to preview it. There you have it. Now you have a transitional pure CSS sliding slider. So this is useful if if you want a rotating banner, or you want a rotating image for any of your columns that you have set up, if you're doing descriptive services. Uh-oh, why did it do that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. That's because the Taj Mahal was missing. So we'll copy that again, go back in here, put it just before the scenic waterfront that we put in there. We'll paste that. Oh, wait a minute. Alright. Image source equals open quotations. Paste the URL in, close quotations. We'll give it an alt of Taj Mahal, close quotations, close the image tag. Alright, so we had one image missing out of the mix there. Just make sure it runs through properly. Okay, so this is for a 4-image image slider. Now, depending on how many images you want to use, will alter your settings here as far as where your keyframes are set. So we have 4, so we'll start off at 20, then 25, 45, 50, 70%, 75, 95, 100. Right, if you have a different amount of images that you want to use, just leave a comment below, and I will change these settings or set up these settings for you so that it can accommodate however many images you want to display. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. As always, if you appreciated this tip, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments below, please don't hesitate to message, and I will get to you as soon as I can. And don't forget, I'll have this code listed in a PDF file for you to download in the description. Alright, as always, have a great day.